winner, boxing, out of the blue corner, Zach Carter.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Zachary Carter TV. Today we are doing our first podcast on the channel. My name is Zachary Carter, a 147-pound open elite boxer. And today, let me introduce the host, my coach and dad, Coach Khalid Carter. Say what's up, Coach.
Welcome to Zachary Carter TV. I appreciate you guys joining us today. I'm the Coach Carter, so let's get to it. What is our first topic, Zach?
Let's first talk about the Showtime All Access episodes on Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo, two monsters who set to fight on September 30th for the undisputed super middleweight championship. How you like the first episode, Coach?
I really like it, but I really enjoyed the episodes. And the biggest thing for me is how it showed off the personalities of each fighter, especially Canelo. One thing about Canelo is because of the language barrier. We never, at least, as far as us English speakers, we never really got a sense of his personality. In fact, oftentimes he's come off as pretty stoic, but that's understandable because he couldn't really express himself. The first episode began with him practicing English, and it was pretty funny. I mean, that was a good episode. It was pretty funny. As his English is getting better, you can see that he's pretty funny. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's not that stoic fighter that it's been portrayed or has come across. He couldn't really express himself like he wanted to. And on the other side, especially Charlo, because usually those guys are portrayed as lions only, the alpha, straight alphas. I'm going to come and bite your head off. In this episode, you don't have to sell the fight that way. You don't have to sell the fight as I hate this guy and I'm going to come and kick his ass. It's a big fight, so it doesn't have to be sold that way. So I believe they're more genuine, just showing off their personality. He's a funny guy too. He's got a really good sense of humor. I like his personality. This was a good episode because it really gave us a real kind of look at his real personality and not at that lions only alpha dog personality. I'm gonna come knock you out. So I really enjoy these two episodes. How about you? Did you get a chance to see watch any of the episodes?
Yeah, it's really good. Like one thing I noticed in big fights, there's been like less mudslinging going on. Like if you see the Spence and Crawford build up, there's a lot less mudslinging going on.
Yeah, I totally agree because the fight sell itself. I believe that's what's going on. And these really big fights, you got the Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia fight. A lot of these fights, Spence Crawford. Look at Spence Crawford. There was no mudslinging in that build up. It was a lot of respect back and forth between the two competitors. And that was real refreshing. We didn't need the animosity or the hatred to build the fight because the fight was already, we've been anticipating that fight for how many years now. So we didn't need that hatred to build the fight. The fight was going to sell no matter what. And what I found is, the two fighters, they didn't have to waste that energy going in that direction as far as trying to build up the fight with animosity and name calling and all in your face. And now, don't get me wrong, they're both competitors, and they both let you know that they was coming out and planning on winning. And it's the same here with Canelo versus Charlo. In fact, in one of the episodes, Canelo even stated that he was surprised that Charlo came out the way he came out, that Charlo didn't come out his normal, I'm going to kick your butt self. Because Charlo understands, this fight is selling. I don't have to do all that. I don't have to expend that negative emotions or that negative energy to sell this fight. So it was refreshing. Both fighters are respectful of each other. They're respectful of each other's accomplishments and skill. Two undisputed fighters in their respective weight classes. As a big first time, two undisputed fighters are clashing. So I can't wait.
Yeah. For with Canelo, it really just seemed like another day in the office, though. Don't get me wrong. He acknowledged that it's a big fight, It just seemed like he's just been there before. Like it's a real big fight. Undisputed champion is on the line.
Yeah, I agree. Canelo, he's had plenty of big fights. So with Charlo, this fight is is the biggest of his career. Now, I wouldn't say it's the most significant of his career. The most significant of his career is him becoming undisputed at 54. I mean, that's history. That's historic. But this is by far as far as the biggest fight of his career, the most high profile fight of his career. So there's that. Showtime is promoting the heck out of this fight. You see Charlo on that private jet. I wanna I wanted that Mayweather loan him, one of his private jets, for the episode. So, but it's a huge fight. It's a huge fight. Do you have any predictions as far as the fight is concerned?
Man, they
Let me
always
stop you there. Let me stop you there. We're not going to do predictions today. We not today. We're going to say that
not
too.
today.
Maybe a couple of days before the fight. Let's say that. Let's say the predictions
Yeah, we're
until
gonna
a couple
say
of days.
predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, I really. Mhm.
episode two, it was more like showed that both men are like devoted family men. You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool. Coming from me as a father, as your father, it was really. I mean, both men were really good examples of how young fighters should really come up. I mean, both men is really good examples of living that family man lifestyle and the success that comes with it. Because, like I often tell you, there's three things that it would bring you down: drugs and alcohol, a toxic relationship, and gambling. It seems like the two fighters, they totally avoid those three downfalls of any great man. They're both extremely devoted to their family, and that's a secret to become a high level. Because, as you know, as I tell you when I'm making you run and run and run until you can't run no more, that don't be afraid of being tired or being exhausted. How you able to really overcome that super hard training is you don't do it for yourself. You need to do it for, like your family. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this to make, to provide for my family, to give them a better life. That's self-sacrifice. And when it comes to self-sacrifice, you're able to give a little bit more. You're able to push it harder. So by the two fighters being strong family men with family values, you can see that they're fighting for their family, and they fighting for their children to give their families a better life. So, and you can see the fruits of their labor. So to all the young fighters out there, uh, these two fighters are two men to emulate yourself. They're two men to really look up to, and they're great examples of how you should act and how you should be. So, hats off to them. Hats off to Showtime for showcasing that
Right,
aspects. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, two fighters that that has great mentality that gives me an example to just push it. Boxing is hard, so it's always just pushing it. No matter how hard it get. It's
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Boxing is hard. Is hard. But the great thing about boxing is, if it was easy, then everybody would do it. You understand? so
yeah,
so you want it to be hard because you're going to do what it takes to become a great fighter. So, you know, if it was easy, then everybody would do it.
right, right.
Yeah.
So once again, these two monsters is set to fight on September 30th for the undisputed super middleweight championship. I can't wait. I'm hyped up. Now we're gonna switch to Tommy Fury and KSI. They just had a face off where the two threw shots at each other. threw shots. That has me hyped to see this fight. What you think, Coach?
Well, so hats off to those guys. Really, hats off to the Tommy Furies and the KSIs of the world, the Jake Pauls of the world. I know a lot of boxers just is not feeling those guys. I understand it. I hear you, but look, we're living in the age of AI. I mean, people got to understand this. It's a different world. This is not the analog world that I grew up in. This is the we're in the age of AI. So it's a whole new world, whole new ball game, a whole new way how to entertain. And let's be real. We're on this podcast because of the Jake Pauls and the KSIs of the world.
Yep.
There's a Zachary TV because of that. Am I right? Talk to me about that.
You're right. You're right. They definitely like set an example of how social media can help kickstart my career. You feel me? This is all to help out my career. Put an image on my name. So it's good. The Jake Pauls and the KSIs, I respect what they doing. I respect what they doing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Now, let's get to it. So, in researching KSI versus Tommy Fury, I first watched the Tommy Fury Jake Paul fight, and I watched the KSI, I think Fury fight. I'm sorry if I messes his name up. From what I see of the fighters, let's not get it twisted. They're not world class fighters by any stretch, but they don't pretend to be. They don't say they're world class fighters. They both work hard, and they both know how to fight. They both are trained fighters. You could tell the training. Again, we're not going to do predictions on this particular episode. We're just talking about it, but Tommy Fury, you could tell he knows his way around the ring, even though he might not be the greatest fighter in the world. You could tell that he knows his way around the ring. Watching the Jake Paul fight, watching him against Jake Paul, his distance management needs more work. I know he don't have a lot of fights, so he's still developing. But his best punch is the jab. He likes to power that jab, but as far as his distance management, it needs work. I mean, it was times. I mean, I could see where if he had the correct distance management, he could have laid out Jake Paul with that right hand. Not only that, his defense is his defense needs work.
Yeah.
Yeah, his defense needs some serious work. I watched not the Jake Paul, the KSI fight, and that was a good elbow by KSI that knocked his opponent out. I didn't see it at first, but on a replay, he clearly hit him with the forearm or the elbow, and wow, that was a great elbow, and knocked his opponent. Dropped his opponent. But before that, he hit him with a good shot, good overhand right. So I'm going to give him his credit for that. So
No.
yeah, KSI he's athletic, kind of got that bouncy moving, similar to like a Keith Thurman, Pacquiao. No, I'm not comparing them to those great fighters. I'm just saying, as far as he can move. He has that movement. Doesn't use his jab particularly well. He uses it more as a flicking jab to set up his right hand. Now you could tell he like throwing that right hand, and that's great.
Yeah.
He like letting off that power. He likes to let off that power. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's nothing wrong with that. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an interesting fight. Interesting fight. I
Yeah.
have thoughts. I have thoughts, but like I said, we're not going to give it away. Any thoughts?
Yeah. But coming into this fight, KSI is confident. Like he's been real vocal about his confidence going against Tommy Fury. Like in the face off, he said if he talked about Tommy Fury's training, he said if this is his training, then I'm gonna absolutely destroy him this October. KSI, he said he also like hit harder than Jake Paul. Tommy Fury fought and won a close split decision in February against Jake Paul, but
Mm.
KSI said he hit harder than Jake Paul. So man, he's confident. KSI is confident. Now Tommy
Yeah.
Fury, on the other hand, he's confident too. He's
Mhm.
defending his reputation as a boxer. He said like he's been getting hit by Tyson Fury his whole life. His
Okay.
whole life. Tyson Fury is his brother. And KSI, he don't hit nothing like, Tyson Fury. But, he's confident too. So they ready.
Okay.
They ready to go.
All right. Well, we're definitely gonna be there to watch it. Also, that reminds me, as far as the Canelo Charlo fight, we're gonna be live for the whole, well, maybe not the whole pay-per-view fight, but definitely the main card. Yeah, so we're gonna be live. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Join us that night, because we're going live on the Canelo Charlo pay-per-view. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that. Yeah, yeah.
So Tommy Fury versus KSI. These two internet sensations would go head on head on
Okay.
Saturday, October 14th.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yep. So
All
now
right.
we're gonna talk about some big news on Stevenson and Davis. Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. Shakur Stevenson, he's saying like he's saying that Gervonta Davis is, he's a good fight, but he wants Gervonta Davis to initiate, all the negotiation to fight him. What you think about that?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Shakur Stevenson acknowledges that Davis is the biggest star out there, besides like a Canelo. I mean, as far as, close to their weight class, he's a huge star. And Stevenson acknowledges that if the fight is going to happen, it would have to be, Davis would have to initiate the fight. Stevenson, he he's a fighter's fighter, and he thinks about his legacy. I could tell. I wish there's a way to show. Wait a second, let me see. Probably shouldn't be doing this. Let's see if you recognize this picture. Ooh, 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 ooh. Can you?
Yeah, I
Oh,
see it. Yeah.
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 I know it's blurry. I'll try it.
Yeah, a little
We
blurry.
yeah, we'll make it better a little bit later. But so that was what 2017 when you was in
Man.
Chattanooga, Tennessee for
Yeah.
one of the nationals, and Shakur Stevenson was there, and he was very generous with his time with all the
Right.
young fighters coming up to him and taking pictures. He was a really nice kid, really nice kid. He loves boxing, you could tell. He loves boxing. He understands legacy, and in order to build a legacy, you need big fights. You need big fights, and he wants big fights. That's what he wants. And the problem with today is a lot of fighters they don't want to test themselves. They're afraid to lose, afraid of losing their he just talked about that. He talked about the Mayweather effect, where a lot of young fighters, they look up to Mayweather, and Mayweather was real adamant about being undefeated, and a lot of fighters,
Yeah.
you know, they try to emulate that. They don't want to lose that. Oh, and Shakur Stevenson, I mean, you fight him, you're taking a huge risk.
Yeah.
The Frank Martin situation. And I really don't want to get into the back and forth or the reasons why, because, quite frankly, we don't know. We don't know. And I'm not going to get in anyone's head or speculate, because we don't know. We're on the outside looking in. So it's no way to get into it. However, Stevenson wants all the smoke. He understands the legacy of the Sugar Ray Leonards, Roberto Duran's, the Tommy Hearns, the Four Kings, Marvin Hagler. So he understands that, and he wants the great fights. He wants to fight Haney and Lomachenko and Davis. He wants to fight all the great fighters of his era. I mean, that's how else are you going to build that legacy?
Yep.
He feels that he has the potential to be an all-time great, one of the best of
Yep.
his generation. In order to prove it, you got to fight the best of your generation. You got to fight
Yep.
the rest. I can understand his frustration. I really can. As fans, I want to see him fight these guys. And ultimately, I believe that he will. I believe he's going to fight a lot of these guys. Hopefully, they have to fight. They have to fight. These are huge fights. These are big money maker fights. So they have to fight.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, so Gervonta Tank Davis, he's definitely one of the biggest draws in boxing. He's had
Right.
a bunch of pay-per-views, and he's pretty much well known in the boxing world. When Shakur Stevenson, he's really skilled, very skilled fighter.
Mhm.
You know, Shakur Stevenson himself, he said like a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis is the biggest fight in terms of skill in boxing. He said that himself. So I kind of believe it.
Mhm.
I kind of believe it. I kind of want to see that fight too. You know,
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Look, the biggest draw this year was the Davis Garcia fight. Davis Shakur Stevenson might do double that
yeah,
number. Maybe. So that would be huge. That would be an amazing fight, and I believe they're going to do that fight. They're going to do that fight. Obviously not this year. Hopefully next year. Hopefully 2024, most likely 2025. I
yeah,
believe that fight would happen in 2025. But we can't screw it up. Neither one of those fighters, they can't lose, and
yeah,
diminish the value of the fight. They need to go ahead and fight. And that's one thing that Shakira touched upon is, let's make the fight now. We can't risk screwing up the fight. Like
yeah,
he mentioned Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. So, I see it from that point of view. And, us fans, we're ready. We're ready. We're
yeah.
ready
We
for that
ready.
fight.
We ready.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we're ready for that fight. Yeah,
So we both hope that this fight happens. We
yeah.
both hope that this fight happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's been a good podcast. This has been a good first
Mhm.
episode.
Yeah, consider we both don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing as far as setting up podcasts and all that good stuff. But I'm having fun. It's fun. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. So we're gonna get better and better. It's just like boxing. We're a novice. We're novices right now. We do this after a while. We're gonna become open, and pretty soon we become pros if we stick with it. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so please bear with us, guys, and stick with us till we become pros and really great at this. But I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon, and remember, for sure, we're going to watch the pay-per-view Charlo Canelo. We're going to go live that night. So if you're not going to watch it yourself, please join us. Or if you are watching us, have us on as well.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, we're going to do a prediction show before that fight, so be on the lookout for that,
Yep.
and
Yep.
prediction show for all the other fights as well that we talked about. So yeah, so until next time, right, Zach?
Yep. Until next time.
All right.